20-some years. It's rough. I just wish I could talk about it, hit a light switch, and be done with it. But it's just, that's the light switch don't turn off. There's no explaining how much hate I got for that man. I was 8 years old and I woke my dad up with a snub nose 357. Hammer pulled back, loaded, and he talked me out of it. He talked the gun away from me. I wish I would have pulled that trigger when I was 8 years old. If I would have pulled that trigger when I was 8 years old, none of this would ever happened.
Deputies searched for a body in what they believed was a swampy grave.
I blame myself. I can't stand that bastard. I grew up in a pretty large family. It was 12 of us, 7 boys, 5 girls. I'm the middle child, smack dab in the middle. My father was an ordained minister. And anybody and everybody that wanted a wedding in a community would come to my father. He would marry couples out front in the house. My mom would cook the food, and we're all dressed up, standing out there, while he's performing the service.
Ron, it's a beautiful day for a wedding. God has blessed you.
Thank you.
My father would stand out there when he was performing the weddings, just like any other minister. He'd have his white collar on, and he'd read a couple of quotes out of the Bible. He was real religious and real polite. Everybody adored him and loved him.
You may kiss the bride.
I remember when this photo was taken. I looked happy in it. If you really looked, if you could look beyond them photos, it was, there was no smiles. If I could go back in time, I would tell myself, run. One night, we all went to bed. We had school the following morning. I woke up, I heard a noise on our roof. And me and my brother Matthew looked out the window. And there was this beast. It was all in black and tapping on the windows. It was one of the most scariest moments of my life. Woke up my mom and told her, the devil's outside. He's trying to come in our window, trying to get us.
The window!
What?
A monster!
Okay, I'll look.
We pointed at the window, and when we looked at the window, it was gone.
What's this?
The boys thought they saw something out the window.
My father came in. He told us it was Satan that was trying to get in the house.
That was the devil trying to get in here. He's coming for both of you.
But my father told us, as long as we follow what he says and do what he does, it's not going to harm us. We have not a worry in the world as long as we follow what my father tells us to do.
You disobey me, then the devil has every right to come in here and get you.
Somebody as a kid, I want this creature to come down out of the sky and snatch me so I can do what my father asked me to do. It came out years later that it was our father looking in the window. My father, he dabbled in cults. Everybody goes to church on Sunday, and we didn't go to church. We didn't go to Sunday schools. He was his own church. One day we were all out in the yard. He walked us over to the rock garden, and there was a statue of Jesus in there. Had his hands out like this. My father had a hatchet, and he swung down at it. My father busted the hands off of Jesus and told us that, God's not going to help you. My father told us, all of us kids, that he was the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end.
I am the only God you will ever know. Now, if you pray to me from now on.
He had all these powers. God speaks through him.
Fear me. Beseech me. Revere me.
And everything he said, everything my father told me, I believed. He's my role model. I love my father. After that incident, everything started getting darker. It was like a whole nother world. That's when things started getting crazy in the house. My father had us all gather in a dining room. There's candles and stuff around, and a pentagram on the table. I seen my father coming down the hallway. He had a black cape on. I'm wondering why he's got this cape on.
Grab each other's hands.
He's reading out this black book. And we're all holding hands in the dining room when he's doing this.
Let my knowledge be my path into the darkness. Sacrifice of bone and blood.
And something was on the table. It was covered. Me being a kid, I really didn't understand what was going on, but when he pulled the piece of material, just a shock of fear went through me. He had our family cat, Misty, was right in the center of the pentagram, and Misty was dead. My father held the cat up and slit its throat and drained its blood into this, it was a chalice. And he passed the chalice around to each of us and had us drink the blood.
Blood for blood.
My heart's racing. It feels like I'm gonna get sick. But everything my father said, we pleased him. He turned the lights back on, he threw the cat away, blew all the candles out, and we went on. After that, like nothing ever happened. He told us never talk about it, never speak of it.
Not a word of this will sleep from this house, or a sickening punishment will happen.
Dad, I'm sorry. I'm just asking about the last.
Shut up!
Just snatches her by the back of her head, slams the door. And then all I heard was her screaming and crying, and it was a full-blown beating. When I was younger, my father had rules in the house.
Now, this is a house of order. When I tell you something, tattoo it on your heart so you don't forget. Understand? You understand?
We couldn't bring friends over to the house. Don't leave the property. Don't talk about what's going on in the house. He didn't allow us to talk to nobody in school.
You go to school and you come home. No delays.
And my father gave all of his boys a quarter. And he told me, if you catch your sisters talking to anybody, I want you to call me. That was my father's biggest worry. If the girls were talking to somebody, They're talking about what's going on in the house.
This home is sacred. And everything that happens in it is sacred.
We're like my father's eyes when he wasn't watching them. There was always one of us in our classes, one of us passing them in the hallway. One day I saw my sister talking to her teacher, and it was outside of class. I called my father and I told him Sherry was talking to the teacher. And when we got home,
I'm sorry. I was just asking about my work.
Shut your mouth. Get up there. I told you never to talk to anyone.
he snatches her up, throws her down the hallway, takes her into his bedroom, slams the door. Then all I heard was her screaming and crying, and you could hear him yelling. It was a full-blown beating. I felt bad. You know, it was my sister in there. We're supposed to protect him. I thought to myself, why'd I call? You know, why didn't I just let it go? I did it out of fear. If I didn't tell my father that they're talking to other people in school, then it's going to be me in that bedroom. I didn't want that. In my household, it was survival of the fittest.
I can't believe he fell. He got all over his face.
Me and my brother Willie were walking down the basement. I mean, that was our hangout. And I heard my sister. We're trying to be quiet. And I looked down, seen my father having sex with Pixie. I see it with my own eyes. And me and Willie, we got scared. And we went back upstairs. And then he came upstairs and he was fixing his pants.
Hi, boys.
And then my sister came up a little while afterwards. From that day forth, my father is constantly having sex with her. There was a lot of incest going on in that house. You know, he's done it to me, and I didn't think it was abnormal, you know, seeing it done to my sister. You know, he'd take us in there and have us perform certain things. How could a man do that to his child? Every time I got abused, I didn't want to live anymore. I prayed to God every day that he'd just take my life. I don't want to live. As long as I can remember, we always had little dances, you know, listening to the 50s and the 60s music. All of us kids in the living room. My mom loved dancing. She loved dancing. There was no drama. There was no beatings. It was like we're in a whole different world. And then just one night, everything's going good. We're having fun. And then Pixie came downstairs. She comes walking in the living room. She has a wedding veil on. And my father announces, you know, that he was gonna marry Pixie. She's a young girl. She's 17 years old.
Family, I'm so happy to tell you that I'm marrying Pixie.
It was so quiet you could hear a church mouse fart.
We are gathered here to join in marriage.
My father performed a marriage ceremony, and she's holding his hands and he's holding her hands. And he says the whole wedding spiel, the vows, and had her say some vows.
I vow I will honor and cherish you for all of my life.
My mom was beside herself when they did that. She couldn't look at none of us. She just kept looking at the carpet. She really couldn't step in. If she stepped in, she would just get beat. She was a victim as much as we was. I was so damn confused, it was crazy. I'm thinking, my sister's gonna be my mom. I'm gonna have two moms. I didn't know what to think. I was just a young, ignorant kid.
I will serve you for the rest of my days.
By my powers, we are consecrated in marriage.
But Pixie, she was happy. The most happiest time in her life. She was in love with my father. That's my father. And it's after he, said the vows and everything and put the ring on her finger. He's got the biggest smile on his face. It makes me feel sick. How could a man marry his daughters? This one twisted individual. Sick. My father told everybody in the family that Pixie was pregnant by a man that was in the service. And the next thing I know, she's in the hospital having a baby. Then, maybe a year down the line, she was pregnant again. That time it was a guy from school. But we all know where the kids came from. They were our father's kids. And then the following summer, she's pregnant again. And that's when it got serious. The police came over. We watched them walk through the yard. And my stomach drops. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get real bad. Yeah, it's Joel. She met him in high school. Joel was a good guy. He was a real good guy. I wish Joel never would have met my sister. If I could reverse time and I could talk to Joel, I would tell Joel to leave. One day I saw my sister pull up and it was her and a guy, and I thought it was kind of odd because no one's allowed at the house.
What's going on?
Hi, Charlie. Joel's my boyfriend.
He told me, he's like, I love your sister. And one day I hope to marry her. And it kind of caught me off guard. I don't know why Joel thought it was his kid.
Pixie, Dad's not...
Dad and Joel are great.
Just want to be a part of this family. Yeah.
I think Joel was another scheme to cover up my dad having another child with my sister, Pixie.
Good to see you.
She had her first kid, it was like 11th grade, and then she was pregnant again in her senior year. School started asking questions, and my father told them the same stories he's telling us. He didn't want the truth to get out. One day, me and my brother cut a bicycle tire in half, and we nailed it on each side of my windowsill. And I took a battery and put it in a slingshot, pull it back, and I let it go. And slung across the fence and hit my neighbor and knocked him down.
Oh, man, he's really hurt. What? Yeah.
And the paramedics showed up. The police came over. We watched them walk through the yard, and my stomach drops. I don't know how my dad talked him out of not arresting me. But then after the police officer left, it was hell to pay.
I told you never to draw attention to our family. You think having the cops show up is some kind of joking matter? You aren't ever gonna forget this again.
And he threw us in a closet like we were luggage. And there was a spray coming up and under the door. And it was Raid. And it started coming into the door, and it started getting hard to breathe. We were in there for hours, it seemed like days. That was one of the most scariest moments of my life. But I thought I was going to die in there. And I don't know if the bug spray or, put me to sleep or if I just went to sleep. But we're in there for one complete night. We started talking about the government's going to come over here and we're going to have to fight for our land, protect our family.
Take a weapon.
He started training us how to fight, training us how to kill people, take a man's life with one blow, how to cut a man's throat, how to crush a man's esophagus by punching him. He had us shooting guns. And we became pretty good with the guns. Too good. I thought my mission was protect my family, and everybody else is just everybody else. If they came along, I don't care who it was. You come along with a badge, you're coming after my family. You're a dead man. What happened was my sister, Michelle, talked to social services in school.
Mr. Sexton, my name is Diane. I'm from Child Protective Services.
Told them what was going on, what our father was doing to us. And that's when they ordered my father out of the house.
No, you have a mistake.
Well,
I'm not going anywhere.
we have the police here that's going to escort you out.
You're gonna have to go.
They escorted him off the property and told him he was no longer allowed on the property.
After you, Mr. Sexton.
He was coming over at the house against their rules.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm sick of this.
I remember like it was yesterday. He said, I'm done. I'm not going anywhere. I'm tired of them. They're not taking your kids off me anymore. And he ordered me and my brothers to barricade the house.
Go out back and get some wood. I'm gonna block up all these windows. Go now.
He had us board up all the lower windows in the house. And then he made a phone call to the Jackson Police Department. And he's cussing at them, calling them everything in a book. Telling them, he's not leaving his property.
You come and try to take me out of here, I will leave a trail of bodies from where I am back to my family.
The Jackson Police Department, they evacuated the whole street, had everything blocked off. The instructions my father gave me was one shot, one kill. anything moves outside, anything comes close to the house, shoot it. The Jackson Police Department, they evacuated the whole street, had everything blocked off.
Charles, they make a move towards the house, you take them down.
My father said if there's any authority that even remotely gets on the property, shoot to kill. Got to see things move outside, and I'm thinking it's police officers trying to sneak up on us. The standoff lasted for 2 days, and we were scared. And then he gets a phone call from one of the deputies.
Yes.
And then that's when the deputy showed up at the house. My father told me if he dips his head, pull the trigger and take out the deputy. And if he would have dipped his head, I would have took that deputy's life. But the deputy talked my dad down, like had him come outside and surrender. And that was the biggest sigh of relief, like a movie, a happy ending. It was like a whole different life. We were free. And after my father got bonded out, he returned back to the house. He told us the FBI is looking for him, and then he starts talking about, the war. No one's going to split his family up.
Very good.
We took those weapons and loaded everything up in the motorhome, and everything just went downhill. We're in the campground. The baby was crying, and it irritated my dad. And he told Pixie, shut the baby up or I'm gonna come back there and shut it up. And she put her hand over its mouth, over Skipper's mouth. And Skipper shut up.
What's going on?
I hear a big scream, and she's screaming over the baby, over Skipper, and Skipper's all blue.
You see? He's gone.
And I look at Skipper, and my dad told me that he was gone. There's no help for him.
Put him in that. No. Do it.
So my sister put him in a duffel bag. Put his pacifier in. Wow. Give me a second. My sister Pixie put a pacifier in Skipper's mouth and put a rattle on his hand. And my dad ordered me and my brother Willie to bury him. So we took the baby back in the woods. And we dug a hole. And we put Skipper in the ground. Oh, I can't do it. It's what Skipper was buried in. Yeah, I recognize it all. Yeah, it's embedded in my memory. off everything that baby wore when I put him into the ground. This child was real innocent. He was brought into just a crazy, evil family. I mean, there's no words. It's just sick, twisted. I don't even want to really look at it. I don't want the memories. Joel was beside himself.
Joel, calm down. It's okay.
How can I be calm? This is my child. I'm not letting you bury him in the dirt in some bag.
He wanted to go pick the baby back up and drop him off at the police station.
They'll be able to help us.
No, the police can't help.
Joel thought Skipper was his son, but he wasn't. He was my father's. My father. He's mad. He's trying to come up with something else just to shut Joel up.
Charles! Willie.
So he says, I got a plan. And we're all wondering what's his plan. He's going to replace Skipper. My dad told me that he had a plan, to get another baby. He took me and Willie to Ohio, but I still didn't know what was going on. And then he stops right in front of my brother's house. My father performed a marriage for my brother Eddie. Eddie and his wife left years ago. My father told me to knock on the door. Eddie's going to answer it and you're going to shoot him. And you're going to take his baby. His youngest son.
When I tell you to do something, you do it. Give me a hand, boy.
He wanted me to take my brother's life and take his youngest son to replace Skipper. And I knock on the door. I'm scared, hands sweating, heart's about to come out of my chest. Thank God he didn't answer the door. If my brother would have answered, I would have put a hole in him. I would have took my brother's life. That's how much control he had on us boys. Whatever he said, we'd do. I don't care what it was. So we go back to Florida, no baby in hand. And that's when he started getting real nervous.
You want him to ruin this family?
No, sir.
My father told me and Willie that we got to get rid of Joel. As if not, he was going to go to the authorities about Skipper.
Take Joel on a walk.
My father ordered Willie to take Joel out in the woods.
Man, let's go for a walk. Come on.
I was supposed to stay at the campground, but I followed him back into the woods. I'm standing behind this tree. I'm hiding. I'm scared to death. And then I heard, man. And that's all he got out was a scream. Willie had the noose around his head, around his neck. My father was standing back and was holding the gun up to my brother. And I told him, finish him or I'm gonna finish you.
Do it!
And Willie's crying, but Willie's doing what Willie was told. And then, after Joel was dead, my dad had me go back here and help Willie bury Joel. And that was the end of it. Joel worshipped the ground Pixie walked on. I mean, he loved her to death. He never deserved it. He deserved a happy life. My parents were arrested for abducting us kids, kidnapping, child abuse, child endangerment. I mean, multiple counts of every charge. But no one knew about the deaths of Joel or Skipper. So when I was talking to the state prosecutor, at first, I was scared.
Just tell me what happened.
I don't know if I can do that.
It was like having a bird. This bird's, its whole life is in this cage. And then one day you just let it go.
Little Skipper's dead.
How did that happen?
I told him everything, and Pixie killed the baby. Willie killed Joel. I told him everything as far back as I can remember. I felt free.
What happened to the baby? You killed that child? What happened to the child? Did you kill your child? Did you kill Joel? What happened with Joel? Come on, you can talk to it. What happened? Did you kill him?
My mom got charged with multiple counts of child abuse, fleeing the state of Ohio, aiding a known felon, abduction. I mean, they racked my mom with charges. I've never had anger for my mom. She wasn't an abuser. She did 22 years in prison for absolutely nothing, protecting her kids the best that she could.
Did you know your grandchild was dead?
No, I just found out about all of it today.
Did you know any of this was going on? Did you know your son-in-law was dead?
No, I didn't know about it today.
Who killed the baby? Who killed the baby?
I don't know! You have to talk to my son and my daughter. I don't know.
Did they kill the baby?
I don't know. I'm not saying anything else.
First time I've seen that one. I don't know why she didn't tell the truth. I mean, she knew the baby was dead. She knew Joel was dead. That don't make any sense. That's something that's gonna bug me probably for the rest of my life. Why did she say that, I don't know why.
Did you tell your daughter to stop the baby from crying, and did your daughter kill that child?
No, I did not tell my daughter to quit making the baby cry because I didn't even know it was crying that night.
Who killed the baby, Eddie?
No one that I know of.
What happened to the baby?
Who killed him?
It's a lying bastard. I've never seen that video. When I first heard his voice, I got nervous for a second. But I got so much anger for that man, I can't stand him. When my parents first got arrested, I'm out there by myself, and my world was lost. I was 18 years old, and I tried to commit suicide, and it didn't happen. The gun didn't go off. It was loaded, but it didn't go off. That right there told me that God has something out there for me. Maybe it's this interview. Maybe this interview touched one person. Maybe it would touch half the world. I'm 42 years old now, and I'm doing good. I'm married. I got a son and a daughter, and I couldn't even imagine something happening to one of my kids. I was sexting kids. We're not Eddie Sexton. We might be, his children, but we're not him. He should have died a brutal death. Instead he dies in his sleep. And they say forgive. Forgive and forget. There's no way you can forgive. There's no way you can forget. It's not. It's not in me. I cannot forgive that man. I believe in God 100%, but I will not forgive Eddie Sexton. Ever. I'll take my last breath hating that man.
I often wonder why Nathaniel didn't kill me. This was the very man that I brought into their lives. I was just devastated, lost, because he's taken so much from me. All I had to give was love, and in return, I lost everything.
Seemed like once I started smelling blood, I just completely bugged out.
That's evil. I see evil in his eyes. Between the time I met him and the time he wound up here, he changed. I never believed in evil before. I didn't think that it would come to my doorstep, but it was around me and I invited it in. And this is the consequence. I was a single mother raising 2 children, and my cousin came one evening on my birthday and wanted to take me out. And I hadn't been out in so long that I decided to go.
I'm so happy you came today. I'm worried about the kids.
We were there together for a while, and then she met someone, and she went off, and I sat there, and then Nathaniel approached me.
Mind if I buy you a drink?
Sure.
He was very attractive and well-dressed, and I wasn't used to that sort of attention. It had been some time since I had been with anybody since my divorce.
Yeah.
It made me feel good. When we were leaving, he asked for my phone number.
Chill.
Nathaniel.
After 6 months of phone calls and him coming to visit on the weekend, I started to fall in love with him. And so I decided that it was all right for him to move in. This picture is when I first met him. He was very polite, timid and shy at first. I felt safe and I felt loved. I thought he was a keeper. After Nathaniel moved in, it was a little difficult for him to find work, and the bills were piling up, and we were starting to get frustrated.
You okay, girl?
He'd go out all day looking for these jobs, applying, and nobody was calling, and he was getting anxious. And one time, we were preparing breakfast, and there was a knock at the door.
Oh, don't get up. I got it.
And I answered it, and it happened to be the police.
Good morning, officers. Is everything okay?
Ma'am, are you home alone?
Oh, I'm here with my boyfriend, Daniel.
What's this? What's going on?
And they said, would you mind coming with us because we have a complaint that you were seen robbing the convenience store. At that time, I felt that that was strange because I didn't think, I said, no, he's been here. I don't think you have the right person.
Baby, tell them that you would never do that.
Ma'am, relax.
Baby.
He says, yeah, I did rob the convenience store because we didn't have any money.
Baby, how could you do something like this?
I had to take care of us.
I was mad at him and couldn't understand why he would do something like that. We were having financial difficulties, but I mean, you don't go rob a store.
You about to come with us, son?
He chalked it up as a dumb mistake. He said he was angry at himself for doing something like that.
Stop.
I was sympathetic because I knew the position that we were in and he was unemployed. And so they took him away in handcuffs and he had to go to jail. He didn't have a gun and this was his first offense. So it was only a few months that he was gone. I blamed myself. I was the one that mentioned about how finances were tight with him not working. He made a mistake and he had to pay for it. Serve your time for this and I'll get you a job and things will work out.
Well,
What is this?
let's just go ahead and take a look.
Okay.
I helped Nathaniel get a job and everything was going better for him. So he said, I'm going to buy you some outfits to dress you up because we're going to be going out.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, this is short.
But Nathaniel would pick out risque dresses that were really short above the knee and real sexy. And I felt a little apprehensive.
Baby, but this is not my style. Like, where am
Come
I?
on, baby. You know you got the body for these. Just try it on, okay?
I said, oh, aren't they kind of short? He said, oh, no, that's how they're wearing them now. And so I try him on and he said, oh, perfect. You look sexy. You look good. So I wanted to please him, so I went along with it. The next day was the basketball tournament, and we always went to the park on the weekend. He says, well, here, I want you to wear one of these outfits. And I said, well, to the park?
Can't wait to see you play.
They weren't really appropriate for a playground and a park. But I went along with it because he wanted me to look good and I wanted to please him. So I wore it to the park. He was playing basketball and I was watching the game, and the people that knew me that aren't used to me wearing that type of thing then began to approach me.
Damn, Chill. You looking fine.
Thank you.
And Nathaniel noticed that they were noticing me. And he's not pleased at all. I could see it in his face. The basketball game ended, and he says, I don't like the idea that all these guys are talking to you. And he started to get angry.
It's not okay to do that.
To do what?
You know exactly what's going on.
You're supposed to be paying attention to me. You don't know how to act. And I was surprised because I had never witnessed this jealous rage before and his demeanor changing so quickly. And I said, well, I'm trying to please you. I can't help if other people are looking at me. It's the way you got me dressed.
I didn't want to wear this stupid dress.
Don't blame it on the dress. You just don't talk to other guys. You need to learn how to behave.
All right.
And I tried to smooth things over with him and say, well, you know, I won't talk to nobody. I'll stand over to the side and I'll watch you play basketball.
I just want to make you happy.
Well, I'm not happy.
Baby.
He would calm down and we would be okay again until it was time to go somewhere else in one of those dresses. He would get jealous and he would get agitated and he would get mean. It was like a light switch. It got to where I didn't know how to act. I just didn't want him to be angry. I just wanted everything to be okay. One evening, my brother's daughter, Christine, came over to play with my daughters. We were all in a good mood, and Nathaniel was playing with the girls, and they're laughing and having a good time. And they were roughhousing and playing hide and seek and tag. in the house. Where are you? So then that evening, it was time for Christine to go back home. When she got home, my brother's calling me.
Hello?
Telling me she had said that he had touched her inappropriately.
Uh-oh, I saw you look at your car.
Nathaniel was there, and so I asked him while I was still on the phone.
Nathaniel.
Yeah. I said, Nathan, my brother's saying that you touched Christine inappropriately.
What? I don't know why he would say that, okay?
He said, no, we were just wrestling and stuff. She must have mistaken. He said, I wasn't trying to touch her or anything. Then my daughters were there, and they backed Nathan up by saying, oh, no, we were just playing rough. We were playing tag and stuff. And my brother said, well, I don't know. She just won't be coming over for a while. And I felt funny about it, but the girls backed him up, my daughters. But I thought perhaps it's a mistake, probably just playing tag, and she just mistaked it. And so she didn't come over for a while after that. Few months go by, and the next thing we know that Christine is missing. And one day she said she was going to a friend's and she never came home. This is a picture of my niece Christine. This is the time when she spent a lot of time at my house with the girls. Happier moment. I remember the day that this newspaper came out. I went out to get the paper that morning, and I noticed that there was an article about Christine missing. We went to my brother's house, and Nathan was with me. There was a large search. Everybody that knew Christine was looking for her. Even the police was looking for her.
I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, she said she was going over to her friends.
Nobody knew where she was. She's 14 years old, so teenager. Maybe she ran away. Maybe she's hanging with the wrong crowd. Maybe she don't want to come home.
I just don't understand how she could run off like this.
I don't know either.
Nathaniel was very concerned, and they had asked Nathan, have you seen Christine? And he said, no, but I'll keep an eye out for her. If I hear anything or see anything, I'll let you know. I'm going to help look, too. He seemed concerned like we were all concerned.
I really am grateful for all the help.
Of course. It's the least we can do. Christine is family, right?
Don't worry, we're gonna find her.
As a family, we went out in search of her and then reached out to people that knew Christine to see if they could further help out in the search. She never turned up after a few weeks or a month or so. And the police didn't resolve anything, so she became a missing person. Everybody believed that she had ran away or she was at somebody's house and didn't want to come home. Nathaniel's demeanor changed. He was more distant. He started to stay out more and more. Began to be almost every evening. He wouldn't come in until after 10 o'clock at night.
Looks like somebody found their way home.
Sorry. Lost track of time.
And I questioned it, and I said, oh, gee, you played basketball awfully late. And he said, we played several games. He said, I stayed till the end.
Well, you do know you have a life here outside of the game?
What? I got a curfew now?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying?
It seemed as if his mood was always on edge, very anxious.
Huh?
Never mind. I'm sorry.
I believed Nathaniel because I didn't know too much about the basketball in the league, and I just figured he knew more about it than me. And I took him at his word. There was a knock at the door mid-morning, and it was the police. And I'm like, oh, no, this is the second time with this police business.
So, what's this about?
The police said that they had a complaint that a young woman said that you were trying to kidnap her.
Will, excuse me? She's detailed an incident that happened in a car. Do you have any recollection of that?
He said he went to the convenience store to pick up some beer, and he saw a girl walking, and he pulled over and asked the young lady if she wanted a ride because it was dark and it wasn't safe.
She's telling us it was more than just a ride, sir.
She saw me leaving in the parking lot and asked me for a ride, and I said, sure.
But the policeman said that the young girl's complaint was that she accepted the ride, but once she got in the car, he was holding her against her will and wouldn't let her go. And then when the opportunity presented itself, she got out of the car and went directly to the police and complained. She's got it wrong. He says, I gave her a ride. I wasn't holding her against her will. And they said, well, would you mind coming to the station with us?
All right, let's go.
I'll be back, babe. Don't worry about it.
And they took him. And I'm thinking, did he really try to kidnap some woman in the nighttime? That was hard for me to accept that he would do something like that. You're sort of caught in the spider's web, and so now you just want to please him, and so you reason anything away. And that's what I was doing. I reasoned it away. I said, well, maybe it really didn't happen.
It's fine, because you know what? I made a decision.
I had a good friend named Lorette, and she would come over from time to time because her kids played with mine. And she was going to move to the West Indies.
I can't take this cold anymore. Okay. Wow.
And she wondered if we had any boxes and things to help her move.
Hey, found some boxes.
He wanted to help her in any way. And so Nathaniel went over to help her with the boxes and help her move. And then when she said she'd say goodbye when they were all set to go, her and the kids, about a week or so passed by, and I was waiting to hear back from her when she was going to leave so I could say goodbye.
What is it?
And then I received the paper one Sunday, and the front page had announced that Lorette had been killed in her apartment.
Oh my God.
I got my Sunday paper.
What is it?
And I see a big article about how Lorette had been murdered in her apartment. And I'm reading this to Nathaniel, and he says, oh, wow, she was okay when I dropped off the boxes. I wonder what could have happened to her.
This is awful. I don't know who would have anything against her.
I'm thinking, well, maybe she got into it with somebody because she was a very flirtatious woman. And I say, but this is a tragedy. And it's really terrible. I was devastated that my friend was gone. I was like, wow, where's Christine goes missing, and then my friend Lorette is gone. I said, I want to go to the services, to the funeral and all.
I'm not going to be able to go, Jill.
What do you mean?
But Nathaniel said, oh, no, we shouldn't do that. I think we should stay away from that because they'll have a lot of police, and I have a record.
You think people are going to want me there?
Who would care?
Trust me, I don't want any trouble.
I kind of was mad, and I wanted to go. I said, she was a good friend of ours. And he continued to eat his breakfast and say, no, that's not really a good idea, because people were always accusing him of different things. False accusations, just looking for someone to blame. So we should not be involved in anything that they're still investigating. And he convinced me, so we didn't go.
The girl's body was found in a field in the small upstate town of Goshen, along with the bodies of 2 others. A few miles away in Middletown, 3 other women were found.
I started noticing that several young girls were missing, and a few of them were found dead.
We word that many of these cases share similar details, and the police are cautioning that this may not be a coincidence.
And they felt that there was a serial killer on the loose. I said, we need to lock the doors.
But the girls, they walk home alone and...
I'll protect you all.
But I wasn't overly concerned because Nathan was there to protect us. As long as Nathan's here, we'll be all right.
Remain vigilant and alert at all times.
A few nights he would come in late from playing his league ball. And one particular day, he had 2 deep scratches on his forearm.
Baby, that looks bad.
Oh, God.
And I said, oh, man, what happened to your arm? It's all scratched up. He said, they tried to get the ball away from me, and they scratched me in the process. I said, what, they play that rough? He says, yeah, sometimes. And I didn't pay much attention to that. I said, yeah, they do play rough.
I'm good, baby. It's nothing.
I knew about the women that have been missing, but it never occurred to me that the 2 were linked together. Who would think that their partner was a killer? I worked nights, and I left Nathaniel to watch the children overnight. But there were occasions when I was getting ready for work, and the girls were still awake, and they were upset.
Girls, what are you doing up? It's late.
Don't go to work, please.
They said, oh, Mommy, we don't want you to go. We want you to stay home. We want you to stay home. And I couldn't understand that at that time, but I just figured that they just wanted me to spend more time with them.
No.
And I said, well, I gotta go to work, you know, that's what I do. I gotta work at night. You'll be all right.
Calm down, calm down.
Nathaniel's here to watch you, so everything will be okay.
No, you'll be fine.
I'll be here in the morning to put you on the bus and get you ready.
Work.
But no, they were not having it. They cried and cried, and I said, oh, man, okay, I'll call in this night. But I can't keep doing this because then I'll lose my job, girls. So I asked Nathaniel what's going on with the kids. He just brushed it off, and he says, oh, they'll be all right. I was waiting for the girls to come home one afternoon, and they never came. So the bus must be late or something must be wrong with the bus. And it got later and later, and it was after 4 o'clock, and so I called the school.
I'm calling because my girls didn't come home from school today.
The principal told me that my daughter went to the teacher and said that she didn't want to go home because she was being abused. Nathaniel was touching her in the nighttime, that she was being physically abused. And he said, your children won't be coming home. We can't tell you where they're going, but they're not coming home. You follow up with CPS and they'll tell you what to do.
Can I please just speak to my girls, please?
And so I was hysterical. All I did was cry. My children are being taken away. I never thought in my mind that Nathaniel was actually abusing my children. It never occurred to me.
Hello?
And so I hung up with the school and directed my anger toward Nathaniel.
What did you do? You know what you did.
I'm screaming at him how my children are saying they're abused and they don't want to come home. This is because of you. And Nathaniel's trying to smooth things over, and he says, well, we'll go to the school and we'll find out further about the children. And I'm crying in hysterics still.
Get in the car, Nathaniel.
So we proceed in the car, and all of a sudden, in a rush, 2 cars blocked our car from going any further.
What is going on? What's going on?
And these men in these suits, and they rushed out of their cars, and they pulled him out of the driver's seat. They said, we're doing an investigation about the missing women. And I'm crying, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
What is this? What is this?
As soon as we get to the end of the road, they pull out and block our car in. 2 detectives got out of the car and they went to the driver's side.
Let me see your hands.
Relax.
What is happening? What is happening, Nathaniel?
And they take him and put handcuffs on him.
Let's go.
Nathaniel!
And the other detective opened my door and grabbed my arm and told me I had to go with him.
Nathaniel!
And they take us to the state trooper barracks. A detective comes in the room, it's almost morning, telling me that he confessed to killing these several women that have been missing. And that he was a serial killer.
The bodies of 6 women have been recovered in the Middletown, New York area, and this man is believed to be responsible for the slayings.
According to police, when Nathaniel White was taken into custody for a murder north of New York, he confessed to 5 others.
Local police are speaking with the FBI to see whether White can be tied to other murders.
It's not possible.
I'm afraid so.
I know Nathaniel, he would never do this.
He's detailed it.
I was in denial, I was in shock. It was hard for me to grasp that. I just really didn't believe what they were telling me. All I could do was cry, and I was a nervous wreck, and I said, God, this can't be happening. I was coming from the police station, and they were taking me home. There was this back road. It was a shortcut. And we were riding down that road, and the next thing I know, I look to the side, and there he is, in an orange jumpsuit. And he was taking them up in the woods so he could show where he dumped all these bodies. I started to think back about the first time he got arrested.
Good morning, officers.
And about the first girl that got away, he said he was trying to kidnap her, and all the lies he told me. And about Lorette, I'll help you out. What you mean? But I didn't want to look. Didn't want to look at all. I just couldn't believe it. That I could have been so blind and I didn't realize. And I kept trying to help this man. I always defended him. I always stood up for him. I was just devastated. And then they took me back to my house, gave me a search warrant, and searched the premises and took whatever they needed to take for their investigation. I didn't want to go back to that big house where we had been staying, so I decided to go and stay at my parents' house where my older brother also stays.
Now, of course, there are multiple reasons why the authorities...
And then there it was on the news.
32-year-old Nathaniel White of Middletown, New York, is the serial killer who has confessed to murdering 6 young women.
I was like in a state of shock. I couldn't really believe that he had killed all those women while he was with me.
Authorities believe White would have continued killing if the Poughkeepsie police had not received the anonymous tip that led to his capture.
I wonder why is it that they got killed and I didn't? Because I was the one closest to him. And they showed him confessing and the whole bit.
I just would drive around and I would see a girl and I would talk to her and once I got in my car we would go someplace and I just have no reason for it or I don't know where it comes from.
Nathaniel confessed to killing 6 women, including my friend Lorette. My parents asked me, didn't I know? And I said, no, I did not realize that I was with the killer.
All I know is that while I'm doing it, it's like I enjoy it. It's like it stimulates me or something. And then it seems like a dream. Then after it's over, that's when the remorse comes. That's when I feel sorry, for what I've done, and I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I get that.
Hello?
The phone rang, and my older brother answered it, and it happened to be the detective to tell him that his missing daughter was one of the victims that Nathaniel had killed.
Christine was one of the victims. Hello?
The investigators have called my older brother to tell him that Nathaniel had murdered his daughter. He didn't look at me. He just looked distraught.
It was a detective. He said that Christy was one of the victims.
He told my parents that Christine was dead and that he had to go and get Christine's mother so that he could tell her. They're all in a state of shock as well as I am. I couldn't think. All I did was rock and cry. I was devastated. That was all my fault. Yeah, I said, I'm sorry. Because I'm the one that brought him into our lives. And my brother didn't look at me, he didn't say anything. He just continued on to what he had to do.
The youngest of Nathaniel White's 6 victims was laid to rest today at St. Joseph's Catholic Church. The mother and father of 14-year-old Christine Klebe followed the coffin as their daughter was buried behind the church where she made her first communion.
I wanted to be at the funeral so that I could say goodbye to Christine. So I could say goodbye to my niece. My brother doesn't say anything to me. Didn't verbally speak to me, didn't look at me, nothing. And to this day, he doesn't speak about it. He barely speaks to me. I barely see him. But when I got to the church, as soon as I was around the casket, that's when people came up to me and they were accusing me. How could I have let this happen? They couldn't understand how I could not know that this man was out there murdering people and that I still was with him. And I did not know.
Jill Garrison, Christine's aunt and the longtime girlfriend of Nathaniel White, was clearly distraught over having brought the killer into the family.
I brought that man into their lives and caused all of this. I met him and brought him from out of town into our town around people that I knew. And I trusted him. They all looked at the same person that I looked at and thought he was charming and kind. But he wasn't. He was the devil in disguise. I see myself in those women. Because we were innocent and naive and didn't believe that there was such evil in the world. I didn't realize that this evil force was right there in my house. I went to go see Nathaniel while he was incarcerated because I wanted to see if he would look me in the eye and tell me the truth. I said, well, how could you do these things? I want to hear it from you.
Why would you murder all those girls?
Baby, you know I wouldn't do that.
And he still sat there and lied to me. And he said, I didn't do it. It's a mistake.
No, I was constantly. They forced me into it. I didn't do it.
All I was really looking for was for this man to tell me the truth in my face after all the time we had been together, and you're going to sit there and tell me there's a mistake again when you confess?
Baby, you know I wouldn't do that. This is all wrong, okay? I'm innocent. You know that.
Then why would you go and confess to the news?
And he said, oh, they pressured me. I had to confess. Which I knew at that point was a lie.
I can't.
No, come on, don't leave. Just stay and talk to me.
So it was kind of a waste of time to even go. I got my children back, but the relationship wasn't the same. I told my daughters I was sorry that I wasn't there and I couldn't see and I couldn't protect them. But no apology in the world's gonna erase the fact that they got abused and I was their protector and I didn't protect them. And I have to own up to that. It's taken years for us to regain the trust and the love and the bond that we had when we were together in the beginning. But the bond is not the same. It's not as strong as it used to be. And they're always fearful too now, just like me. They have that fear that he'll come back. He's still trying to get parole. After all of these years, I still fear if he ever got out, I would be the next target. I'm never relaxed. I'm always on a heightened alert now. I'm always making sure that I'm on my guard. I believe in evil now. I never used to. And I wouldn't ever believe that it would be around me. But it was around me and I invited it in. And this is the consequence. You have to learn from it and move on. You just work toward getting better. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, work on being better and trying to get rid of the fear. I don't know if that'll ever leave me, but I'm not going to let evil win. I'm not.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Police say they're not sure what set him off.
I got a phone call from Ron, and he was crying. And he said, "Did you hear what happened?"
But Dave turned into panic, then terror.
And he says, "It's true, it was Robbie." And I screamed. I just screamed so loud. And then I just passed out. How can anyone comprehend him doing what he did? You can't. You can't justify it. There's only one person that knows why he did it. And that's Robbie.
Police say they don't know and may never know.
Certainly, whenever you have an incident of this nature, it may be impossible to come up with an explanation.
Robbie was really bright, very creative. Everything was magical to him. He loved figuring out new things. You can come home with a balloon and he'd find something happy to do with it, you know? Tie a car to it or one of his army men and, you know, pretend they were parachuting down out of an airplane or something. But Robbie was very different from a very early age.
Happy birthday!
1, 2, 3.
That was a good one. All right, you're gonna love this. Go ahead.
He had a lot of outbursts.
Here's my gift.
No! I want the blue one!
It's really hard to describe a child's temper tantrum. Just sometimes something would click in him. Robbie would yell profanities at you, you know, tell you that you're worthless, and just anything that he could do to try to hurt your feelings. But one time, Robbie went beyond the typical. He threw things around, hit his head on his wall, get a hold of you to try to bite you or to hurt you in some way. I think we were like basically any parent. You just try to talk them down and talk them out of it. But none of that worked for him. Reasoning didn't work. You would just leave him alone until he calmed down. And then he would just come out and say, "Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Dad," and just be really sweet. And you kind of push it to the back of your head and move along like it didn't happen, because you just have to. But it was very difficult a lot of the time. The whole house was on eggshells almost all the time.
Right before Christmas, he got kicked out of kinder care. They called me and I had to come and get him early. And that's when they explained to me what had happened that day.
What was he doing?
He was hitting people and threw a chair.
Well, why was he attacking those kids?
They don't know.
But he was hitting, kicking, and he hit someone with a chair. That was the end moment when they said they just couldn't have him come back anymore. It's when he hit someone with a chair.
They've had kids that act out, but Robbie was a very extreme case. And it was getting to the point where it was getting too physical and too violent and dangerous.
And Robbie had such an incredibly strong will. He would not give up. And when you have a child who has a stronger will than you can stand, what do you do? I tried to find somebody to help, because I obviously couldn't fix. I don't know enough. So they took him to a hospital.
I don't know, Ron. I'm just trying to do what's best for him.
The feeling of him going in there just makes you numb. And it makes you feel like you're a worthless parent. It's very terrifying to basically pass your child over to somebody else and to say, "Can you fix him?" Because that's kind of how it was. He was a broken toy that just needed to be fixed. And how do you tell a 4-year-old, we're not leaving you, that these people are fixing you, they're helping you? I don't remember how long he was in the first time, but when he was able to come home, he came home a very wiped, clean slate. He wasn't angry anymore, but yet he wasn't that happy Robbie anymore either. He didn't have any emotions.
Hey, Robbie. Dinner's ready.
As Robbie got older, he obviously got stronger. He got bigger, and his physical presence got much more scary.
Robbie, you better be downstairs at that table in 5 minutes.
I just kept thinking, Robbie's not going to do anything. Robbie wouldn't do anything. Robbie got a little older and a little bit more boisterous. I think that's when he was thinking that if I wasn't in the picture, that his mom would come back and his mom and dad would get remarried and their family would be whole.
If you ever tell me what to do, I will make you regret it.
That's when his hostility personally towards me really took off. One day I was out mowing the grass and I asked for somebody to get me something to drink, and Robbie brought me out a pop to drink. I took a swig of it and just thought, ooh, that pop, the case of pop must have gone bad or something. And I'm like, I don't even know what that even is. So I took another drink of it because it wasn't like it was a flat pop or anything like that. And I took another drink of it and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I am definitely not going to finish this after I took like 2 or 3 sips trying to just figure out what it was. And later that night, I got really sick. It was just a couple of hours later and I got really physically sick. And go to find out that he had put chemical in my pop. He put pesticide in it. Once he figured out that I wasn't going to go to the hospital or anything, he told us. He thought it was funny. After I found out that he had poisoned me, it was really hard to keep my emotions in check because on one hand, it did start making me be afraid of him.
Why did you do that, Robbie? I'm serious. Why would you think that's funny?
It was a prank. He didn't know it was going to make you sick. Right, Robbie?
Yeah. That's all it was.
He just wanted me out of the picture.
What's the big deal? I mean, you're fine. It's not like you died.
I could have died.
But in the other hand, I just kept thinking, Robbie's not going to do anything. Robbie wouldn't do anything because we know who he is. You know, he's not this terrible monster. The next big altercation that Robbie and I got into was the day that led him to permanently leave our house. His older sister worked at a restaurant, and he kept stealing her cash.
Robbie, what do you do in your sister's room?
Nothing.
Let me see your backpack.
No.
I wanted to look in his backpack to see if he had his sister's money.
Let me see your backpack.
No.
You cannot keep stealing her money.
And so Robbie and I got into a big argument.
Let go! I didn't steal anything. You are always taking everyone else's side. You never take mine!
I was trying to get his book bag from him, and we were wrestling over the book bag. And my wedding ring cut him on the cheek.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
If you ever touch me again, I will kill you.
Robbie tells me that you two got into a physical fight, and that's where the scratch came from.
When he was at school, he went and told a couple of his friends and also told the counselor that I had hit him and that, you know, I got physical with him, and that's how he had got the cut on his cheek. He was trying to turn the backpack incident that I was out of control and that I was getting physical and that I had basically abused him.
There is a more serious issue that we have to discuss here.
Then he told a couple of kids at school that he was so upset with me that the only way that I was going to be leaving the house the next day was in a body bag. And told them that he was going to stab me in my sleep that night. I didn't know what to do. You don't know what do you do when your kid is like that. I didn't know what to do.
Please, please. I can't do it anymore. I'm scared.
He didn't mean it. He's just struggling.
Honey, I think he means it when he says those things. I'm on edge all the time. I just can't.
I think you need to give it a little bit more time, okay? He's just a kid.
When a normal kid says something, I hate you, to their parents, they don't mean it. But with Robbie, when he said these things, it brings up a doubt, and that doubt is enough to worry you. It's like, man, does he really mean this?
I think Robbie definitely meant it, because later on we found that he had carved into his dresser, killer. And we found pocket knives that he had been collecting in his drawers. So we knew that he meant it. It wasn't an idle threat, whether or not it was that night or another night. We called a psychiatrist, and his psychiatrist said that we needed to call the cops and have him physically removed, that he couldn't be trusted in the house at that time. And so they did. They came and took him. And besides a night visit or a weekend visit, that was his last in the house.
He needed someplace where he had a very structured environment. But I felt terrible. There was a piece of my family that was missing. And the doctor told us, well, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. Separation anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, ADD, ADHD things, everything in the world. No one on earth I knew had an answer. And they would try different medications. They would try different techniques and things. Well, that's not working. Let's try this one. Well, that didn't change anything. Let's try something else.
There was more than one incident that showed me or the family dead, knives stabbed in us or nooses around our neck. We were out of time. Well, when Robbie went into psychiatric care, I just kept trying to remind myself, it's not about me. And I just would keep telling myself, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. Robbie had a lot of goals in therapy. And one of them was to try to make things better with me and to basically apologize for his actions. You can't do and say these things without apologizing to somebody. You need to apologize and take accountability for your actions.
He would say it, but he didn't come across as being sincere about it.
I'm sorry, okay?
No. I don't accept that.
It was just a mess. He's not even faking it to make it. He's not even trying to pretend, oh, I love Candace now, and I want to come home, and I was wrong. We thought that he would do that eventually. 6 months goes by, a year goes by, 2 years goes by, 3 years goes by, 4 years go by, and we still can't believe that he's still down this track.
And the longer it goes without actually having that interaction of apologizing, it just gets worse. And that's what's happened.
Then it was back to the verbal abuse. And you were right back to square one again. Somehow it was very easy for him to constantly just keep going a level deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper that he got, there was nothing that anyone said or did that can bring him back up to the surface. When you're in group home, you don't have a lot of personal items. So the only thing that was really available to him on a regular basis was obviously pen and paper. And so he did a lot of drawings. He did them all the time. He loved to draw. He was actually a very good drawer.
Hi, Robbie.
He had to draw pictures of his emotions.
What are you drawing?
Nothing.
Can I see?
And they were pictures of, you know, the family laying around with knives stabbed in us or nooses around our neck. Some of them were just me. Some of them were the family. Some of them were his dad and I. I just think that he had so much darkness built up inside of him that he was just projecting and drawing what he felt.
What is this, Robbie? Why would you draw this?
He was somebody that was just unrecognizable to us. He always blamed me for not being able to come back home. You don't even want me at home. You don't even care that I'm even in here, and you're happier without me anyways.
I'm not giving up on him.
I'm not either. But clearly it's not working.
Maybe if we bring him home again.
I can't stay here anymore. Maybe it'll be better if I'm not here.
I'm never going to blame Robbie for ending our marriage. But in the end, Ron and I did get a divorce so Robbie could come home. And that was kind of our last straw of maybe Robbie can come back home if I was out of the picture.
I love you, Ron. But I just can't do it anymore.
He needed to come home so his dad can teach him how to be a man and how to live life. Because he'd been in there for 5 years. He was 17 years old. He just needed to come home. I never spoke to Robbie again after Ron and I got a divorce. I never got any emails, phone calls, letters in the mail. I'm not sure if he uttered my name again or anything. I never thought that Robbie would ever turn on anybody. I never thought that he was ever going to seek me out or seek anybody else out.
Whenever you have an incident of this nature, it may be impossible to come up with an explanation.
It broke everybody's heart. And it just changed everybody's life. If Robbie was painting this picture that I was the big problem in all of this, then I was going to remove myself. Because I kind of felt like sometimes I put a wedge between Ron and his son and not having his son at home.
Robbie would not come home until after I was divorced and had my own house, my own home. That's when Robbie came home. I didn't have any, rosy expectations that, ta-da, he's gonna come back and he and I are gonna, have this rosy life and stuff. I knew it wasn't gonna be easy. I just hoped we could move forward.
You just need order. You need a routine.
He had real strict rules of what he was, had to do and how he had to behave. Had expectations for him to put forth the effort and do what needed to be at school. And no alcohol, no drugs. He had curfew, all the normal things, just regular, normal things. He was doing pretty well. I mean, when Robbie applied himself, he could do anything. He wasn't a dumb kid by any stretch. I believed that Robbie was going to be one of those people who, after he came through all of his crap, and he was going to be talking to kids who were going through things, and he could be one of the people who, he could actually sit down with a kid and go, I know what you're going through. And he was going to be able to use all the hurt he'd had in his life to help somebody else. Some months later, he had a job, had met a girl. It was what I was hoping to see, a sign of a realization that he's seen that the bad stuff hasn't been working and he's trying to at least move towards better things. A job and a girl, usually that means a lot to somebody. You're doing things to build a future. It's not like I thought he was, out of the woods, but it was one of those positive signs. It was an indication that maybe things were going to start going better.
What's your emergency? Hello, 911. 911, what's your emergency?
There is someone with a gun shooting people in Von Mar at Westroads. I heard 12 gunshots. Pop, 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 pop. And people running and screaming. I didn't know what happened.
We were hiding in a clothes rack, and that's where I called 911.
Hello, 911.
Hi, I am at Von Mar.
Yeah, we're on our way out there, ma'am. Anybody seen the person that's doing the shooting?
I have not, but I'm very scared.
Okay, yeah, we're on our way out, ma'am.
His oldest sister, my oldest one, she called me and said, did I hear what was going on? And I said, no. And she was like, Mom, you don't think that was Robbie, do you? And I said, why would I think that that's Robbie?
I don't even remember what time of day it was. My daughter called me and said that I just heard about a shooting at Westroads Mall. And I'm scared. And she knew just a little bit of details from the news.
A day of holiday shopping turned into panic, then terror, after a teenager with an assault rifle opened fire.
So I'm right there by it, and I pulled up to one cop, and I asked this one cop, I said, please just tell me I'm a paranoid father, but I'm just afraid this, I don't remember how, I just wanted the guy to tell me, just go home, you're being ridiculous. And he asked me for my ID and went away. And he didn't come back. And then my phone rang. And it was my oldest daughter, and all she did was scream into the phone at me. And they still didn't come out and tell me anything. And that's how I found out while I was sitting right at the place.
Then I got a phone call from Ron, and he was crying. And he said, "Did you hear what happened?" And he says, "It's true, it was Robbie." And I screamed. I just screamed so loud. And then I just passed out.
Police say 19-year-old Robert Hawkins was the shooter.
No words and no sorry are ever going to make things better for them, ever.
Good afternoon. Before turning to the situation in the housing market, I send my sympathy to the families of those murdered in Omaha, Nebraska yesterday.
Even after it was confirmed that it was him, all I could do is just shake my head and sit there and say, I just still can't believe that he did this.
And I know what a difficult day it is for that fine community. The victims and their loved ones are in the prayers of Americans.
I don't understand it. I still don't understand it.
The third and final image shows the 19-year-old aiming an AK-47 to fire. Police say Hawkins then opened fire, killing 8 people in the department store.
It looks like he might have killed himself.
Okay, you see it laying by a gun?
I see him laying by a gun with blood underneath his arms.
In the aftermath, 9 people, including the gunman, were dead. 5 people were wounded.
Police say they don't know and may never know exactly why he opened fire.
How can anyone comprehend him doing what he did? You can't. You can't justify it. There's only one person that knows why he did it, and that's Robbie.
I have no idea. I still have no idea why. It's too extreme to have ever even occurred to me or entered my mind that what he did could have happened. I couldn't. It's so far-fetched fictional that my brain would never be able to even come up with that kind of scenario.
There's a lot of times I blame myself for getting into that fight with him and taking his book bag. Because if I hadn't taken it to that level, then he wouldn't have left our house. What about if I had just stopped it and just given his older sister the $10 that she was missing out of my own pocket? You don't know if you did the right thing or not. Looking back, we have no idea because we don't know if we hadn't have taken him there, what the other path would have led to. We don't have that magic 8-ball that we can go back and do a redo on everything.
After it happened, I would just go online and all of the hundreds and hundreds of comments that people were making, I would go read them. Why didn't somebody do something? Why didn't somebody do something? Everybody involved did everything that they could think of. I did everything I could imagine, and it wasn't enough.
After the shooting, I did hide myself away for quite some time. And it is really hard going out to eat still to this day. And you hear a conversation next to you going on talking about it. Or going to church and they have an anniversary memorial of it. And sitting there watching TV and see it on TV. Then you have his birthday that comes up. And then you have the shooting anniversary that comes up. And it never goes away. It's really hard to be on the other end of something like this and not being able to understand it. I think I tried to learn to try not to sit there and ask yourself what I could have done differently. There was nothing that I could have done to prevent the shootings. I'm not sure if I can finalize my final thoughts. I have 1,000 of them.